Hey, I'm back with another video. It's 4:26 p.m. It is June 6th, and I believe it's a Tuesday. Let me just double check. Yep, it's Tuesday, all right. I wish I could say that it was a bright and sunny day, but it's not. It's actually quite dreary outside, and it has been since yesterday. A little bit of sun kind of peeking through the clouds here and there, but nothing vibrant, which is kind of draining. But you know what? I've been getting a lot done. So I just want to come on here and make a video really quick, kind of give you an update as to what I've been doing. I know I don't get a lot of views on my channel. We know why, but I'm not going to go there. Okay. So anyway, um, yeah. So I've been learning new things. I'm doing a lot of studying, and it's been taking up a lot of my time, I will say, and it's been very enjoyable. I do this for about from 7 in the morning to like noon, and then sometimes I get the urge to read more, which is really good because I enjoy applying my mind to something. I know people might have said that Marina doesn't like doing that sort of stuff. Yes, I do. I love learning, but I think in my past, I'm a very autonomous person. So like when I'm trying to do something, I can't really focus on it as well if I feel like other people are trying to jump on my train or whatever. So I lose interest and want to detach myself from it. And I've seen these patterns go on throughout my life, dealing with, the bullying that I dealt with when I was growing up and that sort of thing. I don't need people to prod me. What I need is people to leave me to make my own decisions. And that's my choice too, whatever motivates me. This is not an argument. I'm just kind of telling you a little bit about myself and how I work and how I operate. I'm extremely autonomous, and I tend to be someone who is motivated by and driven within my own self. So people don't need to tell me how to do things or what to do or whatever. That's going to kind of make me want to move away from that. I do have my own drive, but it has to be, uninhibited. Like it just has to run wild. And this is what gives me my driving force. I think maybe there are some people, who I dealt with in the past who may have had good intentions, like trying to encourage me or whatever. Like when I remember when I was young, like a little bit after I had my son, I started going into the workforce, and then I had a lot of women who were around me. Some of these people seemed sympathetic. They could have been perps, I don't know, but they seemed very sympathetic because they could see that I was doing everything I could to enter the workforce to make up for lost time. And there are some women who would reached out to me and wanted to mentor me. And I really appreciate the women that did come into my life and talk to me and spend time with me and um, you know, try to understand my story. I think a lot of people understood my story more so than I did because I didn't realize that when I was younger that I had an abusive family. Now I know this is not an argument trying to ruffle any feathers, but I didn't realize that. But the people who were around me recognized it. We don't recognize abuse until um, until we get older, until somebody puts it into perspective. And I remember a lot of people would just come up and tell me things like, just out of the blue, they would, say things like, you know what my mom does? Like, just, start talking about the negative things that their mom does. And I now realize that throughout my past, what they were trying to tell me is that your mother is abusing you. And I didn't realize it. I knew my mom was kind of like, what do you call it? Negative at times and did a lot of things that I didn't like. But I always processed it in my mind like she's, got a bad mood. She's in a bad mood or whatever. And then, there were some people who understood my. Just to cut a long story short, that people understood that what was going on in my life before it clicked in my mind. And so, I entered the workforce, and I, yeah, like I did. I met a lot of really decent women who kind of reached out to me and talked to me and spent time with me. And I do appreciate those people. And I appreciate it. But I didn't think that, the thing is that I always knew that I could do things on my own. And I didn't necessarily, and there's nothing wrong with people giving you a hand. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's very much appreciated when people do show their generosity. Um, but I never felt like I was inadequate in any way. I never felt that I had too many obstacles, because I was very naive a lot when I was a kid. My thing was that I believed that the world gave people a fair shot. Like, I didn't realize there was so many isms that thrived on this planet. There was a lot of innocence, of course, in me at the time because I was young, right? And a lot of the programming that you have in school, encouraging you to do these things and believing or setting up a reality that is not true. There's a lot of indoctrination that goes on in these TV shows and these, and even in the education system, everybody gets projected as if they're like good human beings, and they don't talk much about abuse in families and those sort of things. So I didn't realize that the world was a very harsh place, and that it's just thriving, just like literally thriving with all kinds of wickedness, right? And so that is mostly the the way that it is. It exists that way. So anyway, I always had, how can I say this? I was determined. You know what I mean? I was determined to make the best life that I possibly could for me and my son. And this is basically my story. So I think what I wanted to talk about today is, like, the positive changes that are making in my life. And I think everybody knows, like, within this community, that there was some sort of mass campaign to shape and mold Maria into something that I can't possibly be. Um, and this is where, and this is not me bringing up an argument. And no, every time I express my feelings, which I need to do, in a positive way, of course, and in a non-abrasive way, without any sort of ill intent or motive. It is just me basically saying that, um, some people don't understand what bullying is. And bullying can destroy a person. What I need in my life is I need to be accepted for who I am. Okay, and there are changes that, of course, I want to make changes in my life. Okay, people think just because I stay in the house and do all this other stuff that Maria just likes being stagnant. She doesn't like to renew herself. Okay, everybody wants to do that. Okay, but I can't renew myself into a religion that does not. It doesn't resonate with me. I can't promote ideas or beliefs or behave and act or wear my hair or wear clothes that do not. I have the right to be a human being, and I have the right to live and exist as I am. Okay, I think that, and that in itself, is, you know, kind of being marked out of society and being ostracized for who I am, and I am a person who I am very proud of. And I am proud of myself. I am. And some people will say, well, I don't know why. Why am I proud of myself? Because I took the initiative to take responsibility for what some people would think was a mistake, but was actually the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm proud that I had a son. I'm very grateful for that, and there's not anyone on this earth that's ever going to make me feel ashamed of that. That was a part of my life destiny for whatever reason. Because, like I said before, and I know this sounds cliche at this point, that order does come out of chaos. You know what I mean? I think that it gave me a more mature look on life, because of it. And it also gave me a drive to care about something, because before, I really can honestly tell you that I really didn't have that. Um, I think now, so I'm learning balance more. And this last few weeks, I've been like really balanced. Like I've been really, balancing my time. Now, yes, I still do my little goofy stuff, which I need to do goofy stuff. And I will tell you why creativity is important in the process, whether it be learning or whatever it is that you might be doing that might be technical, but you need some time to step away from technical things at times. Now, I'm not saying that you have to absorb any form of art, you have to be an artist or anything like that, but there is a balance there of enjoyment, whatever that might be. Some people might like being in the office all day long, and they might like applying themselves to intricate spreadsheets or whatever. But it's nice also for some people to take a break from that for a while and let their mind flow on something else. It can become too, I don't know, you can become too fixated. You know what I mean? It's a good balance. But I do say that I am applying myself more to studying at this moment. And the studying is not just, something that I feel set to do. Like I said, I do, oftentimes sit in my bed and I'm like reading these great, books for this course that I'm taking, and reading their pamphlets and reading their workbooks and all these other issues and things that I've been doing. And I feel like really great about it. But, at the same time, I'm also feeling that there could be a point where sometimes I can allow myself to burn out because I've been reading it too much. And when I start reading something and I get excited about it, because I get excited by learning. I do. I sometimes get like agitated because I want to work on this stuff right now, and there's certain things that I'm learning that I'm not able to do at the moment, and then I start getting frustrated. There's nothing else for me to do, so I need to break away from that and then start doing something else to get my mind away from it. Because there's times where you can think about something so much that, whoops, there's that burnout, and so you need to release your mind onto something else. I think it's a positive thing. I think some people think, well, because Maria enjoys art so much, that, it's a part of her life. I would say art is becoming more a part of my life. And I think sometimes people such as myself, I consider myself to be an analytical person. And I also believe that I'm somebody who has the ability to know and make good decisions. I can decipher between what is imaginary and what is fact. And so I think a lot of people think that, or if people wanted to label me that for their own personal reasons. But, and this is not me putting on a fight, it's just me stating who I am on my channel, okay? Which nobody watches, but whatever. Anyway. So anyway, but yeah, that's who I am, and this is the kind of person that I am. And I'm in my life. What I need is to gravitate towards more things that are more myself, what are more really me. And I think there's some people they have. So I wouldn't say there's so much narcissistic. How I would like to say, narcissistic. There's a lot of narcissism was in this group of people, but I also think that some people might have Neanderthal type thinking or very basic thinking, simplistic to where they think that, hey, we can change a person, or we can change your hairstyle, or we can impose these sort of things on a person, and that is like a threat or like a form of like death. So much so that I felt very paralyzed by it. Like I started realizing and focusing in my mind, what is it that was going on in this community after I left the farmer's place. And no, I'm not trying to bring up an argument, because I feel sometimes psychically that when I am talking about this issue, that people perceive it like I'm trying to conjure stuff up, and that's not it. I think what it is it has played such a huge part of my life that that's pretty much the only activity that has been going on in my life, for real. Okay, like it's been all of that, and so, but since I left that place, it's just been very strange. And while I was dealing with all of that, I honestly thought that, I was gonna, something really bad was gonna happen because the element of religion was brought into it, which scared the hell out of me. Because I think maybe some people don't realize, and maybe if they did, I don't know what to tell you, but if you didn't realize this, let me tell you what that sparks in people. It sparks a sudden form of fanaticism in them to where it can actually become deadly. Okay? And maybe it was done innocently, and maybe it was done maliciously. I do think there was a lot of malicious intent because because of rumors that weren't true. And wow, you know what I mean? I think people, I think the takeaway from this issue, and I think that some people might think, well, everything's good. Maria's all right. She's doing all right. She's making these videos. She's okay. Knock on wood or particle board or whatever you have. But I think what people don't understand is like the issues that are involved in it. Like take me out of the equation, okay? Let's just say we're looking at this from a different perspective, maybe if you want. You know, um, it, it proves a lot of issues that I think are really important. Not like I said, not necessarily about me, but just the issues, like for example, how the evil human side of nature. Here we have people who've made up rumors about me, and they know that they're impossible to be. Impossible, okay? It couldn't happen in a million years, okay? But wanted to bully somebody just for the fucking fun of it. Now, and had other people engage in this sort of behavior just for the fun of it, okay? Now, that means a lot. I mean, that's a lot of people that you can get involved to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? For something that's not even true. That is shocking to me. You know what I mean? And it should shock other people, especially if they found themselves a part of that. Because now you got to ask yourself, what made you do that, right? It does also prove the fact that people are not really able to function. I've heard when other targeted individuals, tried to get back on their feet. They found themselves, not being able to concentrate, deal with stuff. And I will say that the issue is that it's not that they can't function or concentrate. It's the fact that they need to get out of the toxic environments that they're in. Okay? Then they could function and think clearly, and then wouldn't have to worry about, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, the people that want to hurt them. And that plays a huge role in it. I always strive to be, oh yeah, also I want to talk about the people that are easily controlled, that it proves the point that people are easily controlled and manipulated. Like I really do think that people, you can literally tell people who to like and who to hate, and they will do it. 100% with all emotion and power behind it. You know what I mean? Like you can literally implant things in people's minds, and they will act on it. I find this issue so fascinating to me. It really is. I mean, because it's like it's eye opening. Um, and also it proves that there's all kinds of isms, that are thriving on this planet. The isms that relate to, um, sexism, racism. We can also talk about the issues of religious intolerance, all of that. That when I was that girl who was working at the Air Force Base with my young son, roaming around in my first job that I thought was great, I had no knowledge of it. You know what I mean? I had no knowledge that people could be what they are. I mean, literally, that this is like, it's not like just it's the exception, it's like the rule. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, people are just like amazing. Not amazing like, like I'm impressed. It's like amazing that that this is normal to people. People behave this way, you know, and and normalize it, you know. Um, I don't know, you know, and then it proves that people don't really know much about their own religion, or they're open to that they're open to using religion as an excuse to enact their evil. You know, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go much into this, but because really, I will say that when I'm talking about this, I'm speaking about it with emotional detachment. Like I'm literally really not angry. I'm not angry. You know, that doesn't mean that I want these people to be my friends. That doesn't mean that I want to sit here and be their buddy pals. I don't. You know, I think sometimes when people do something to another human being that is so inhumane, that it becomes like something weird just kind of goes off in your brain. You know what I mean? To where you become very terrified, like terrified of somebody who can enact something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not somebody who's seeking revenge. I'm not somebody who's seeking anything. What I'm seeking in my life is where I truly do fit in. Who's my tribe and where do I belong? Instead of being around people who could never appreciate me for who I am. And that's basically how it is. You know what I mean? That's not me, and I won't apologize for who I am. You know, I understand that I'm 52 years old. I'm a 52 years old woman, and I'm content. I mean, like, you know, I don't need what do you call it? Um, Prestige. I think there's a lot of people who seek those things. Something in my mind tells me never to seek something like that because you're really going to ask for trouble if you do that. I want to live a good life. You know what I mean? And I want to live a life. I mean, sure, of course, I have to make money. Okay, you have to make money. Okay, and if I make millions, great, right? But I'm not somebody who is going to sit here and bend over backwards, compromise my morals, I don't want to get into all of that. And something tells me that if you were to try to pursue those things, that would be a big part of your existence. You know, being something that you fucking can't live with. And I think that's the reason why a lot of, like, for example, actresses and actors, they end up fucking blowing their brains out because it can get very difficult, I've heard, to deal with people who have that much power over you, you know. So, you know, I just want to live a very, like, basic life. You know, I know that's very difficult for a lot of people to understand. But of course, like I said, I do have to make a living, okay? But I do. I'm not materialistic. And I think that's another issue. I know I've been bashed for that too, like, because I don't have an iPhone and blah, blah, blah. And okay, great. You know, I understand people care about status. I understand that. They do. They obsess about it. Um, I think what I want in life is I don't want my reputation smeared. You know what I mean? And this is what I do value my reputation. You know what I mean? As anyone should. Okay? But I don't have to be the richest. I don't have to have this newest gadget. I don't have to have the best car. I don't have to have those things. And there is nothing wrong with people who do. There is nothing wrong with people who do because some people feel as though, hey, you know, I work hard, I have the right to have this, and they should if that's what their heart's desire is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not somebody who cares if people like my car. I don't care, and I understand that people judge you based on your material things, the things that you have. Yeah, I understand that. That's the world standard. It is. It is the standard of the world. But that doesn't mean I have to adapt to it. You know what I mean? Because materialism is so important to people that they they can't seem to not betray people or stab them in the back or be liars or be, bloodthirsty people. It turns people into something. You know what I mean? You know, like they say, you know, all material gain is the devil's domain, right? I guess so. Anyway, but I often thought about like living off the grid, like, you know, just living out in the middle of nowhere. I have thought about those things all, you know, for many years, especially I would say right around the time in 2008 when like my ex-boss was just like being unreasonable. And I know why, but because, you know, it's that purse chain, right? I kept thinking, you know, how much can I put up with this? Apparently, I put up with it another, I don't know, 12, 13 something years or whatever. But anyway, man, endurance. That's one thing Maria has, huh? Well, anyway, I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that, you know, I'm hanging in there. Feeling okay. I feel okay. And I want, in my life, I want to branch out. Like, I want to know things. I want to go and do things, you know, things that I wanted to do in my life. You know, and there's several things I want to do in my life. But I just want the, I don't know, I want a chance to do the things I never got a chance to do in my life, which is very important to me. They don't have to be grandiose, and they're not really, but I need to have a sense of accomplishment in my life, you know, one that I feel good about. And also, I need to have in my life sincerity, which is rare, okay? I do think materialism does turn people into hounds. It does, you know, because we live in a material society, you know, things like true friendships and stuff, that's very rare. I mean, people kill family members to get stuff. I mean, this people get desperate to exist in this world where materialism is so important, you know. Hell, don't get me wrong, you know, we all have to survive. But I'm not somebody who cares what people think of my phone or cares what people think of whatever. I hold myself in high regard. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up my video. Hey, you know, and I hope you all have a great Tuesday afternoon. Take care. Bye bye.